This video is kaiju neutral. Pick your Godzilla, classic, modern, anime, or the purple one that looks like he wandered out of a fever dream. They all work. Now imagine the early 2010s. A group of Hollywood creatives are sitting around a table, sipping spritzers, when someone says, "Hey, what if we build like a shared monster universe, like Marvel, but louder?" Another nods. "Good. Add a TV series. Tie it all together. Cast both Russells. You know, Wyatt, Kurt, symmetry." And somewhere, in the back, an executive in a yellow suit smiles. Not because of lucrative investment, but because something else nudged the creative process. A guiding hand, a whisper from the deep. We'll get to that. Across the MonsterVerse, Godzilla, Kong, Skull Island, King of the Monsters, even the Mummy, if we're being generous. Monarch has always been the quiet, connective tissue. A classified file here, a seismic anomaly there, a scientist who looks like they know too much, always present and rarely centered. Legacy of Monsters finally drags Monarch into the light, and what it reveals isn't a military agency or a scientific think tank. It's a government-funded experiment wrapped in layers of unwanted philosophy. The kind that creeps in when you study things too big, too old, and too indifferent to fit inside a lab report. A butterfly trying to map a world that was never built for humans. The name Monarch carries two meanings. Butterfly. Fragile, migratory, drawn to impossible distances. And sovereign. Ruler, but not our ruler. The Titans are the true sovereigns of Earth, and humanity is just trying to survive the consequences. And Monarch itself? Well, it's fractured. It hides things from itself. Different teams believe different truths. In its shadow stands Prodigium, the occult-leaning, weaponize everything organization from the Mummy 2017. A dark mirror, a wasp to Monarch's butterfly. Time and repeated Titan incursions have given Monarch a bit of military teeth, but we're still left asking, who is Monarch really serving? Humanity? Around them orbit military black sites, corporate labs chasing Titan tech, international agencies building their own mini monarchs, and rogue scientists who think they know better. A human ecosystem built on fear, ambition, and incomplete truths. Does this ring any bells to you? Monarch wouldn't exist without the Titans, or as the franchise calls them, MOTU, massive, unbeatable Titan-scale organisms. A mouthful, but accurate. These aren't monsters, though. They're conditions. Unkillable, ancient beyond myth, ecological but not necessarily evil, dimensional, unfathomable, unfathomable, that's right, not necessarily irrational, worshipped, feared, misunderstood. and sometimes far more intelligent than they look. They don't invade. They emerge like storms, tectonic moods, or planetary immune responses. And if you're starting to feel a certain cosmic horror vibe, good. You're supposed to. Here's a question. Where does Godzilla go when he disappears? Not down. Sideways? Into a geography that runs beside our own. A flower bud. For lack of a better term. World of layered realities. For example, Hollow Earth. The sunken Titan city, which might be Atlantis. Dimensional seams, wormholes, and through Monarch, the interstitial layer. I hope I don't have to say that too often. Apple TV Plus didn't explain these. They just connected them. Earth isn't one world. It's many, curled and stacked, and interwoven like petals in a living bloom. Monarch found one of these petals, a place that looks like a nexus, but might be just another layer we just don't understand. Let's get right to it, and we'll say it plainly. The MonsterVerse isn't copying Lovecraft. It's on a parallel journey. The same trajectory, or whatnot, more or less. The ancient beings, the layered realities, human insignificance, institutions fracturing under truth, knowledge that breaks the people who seek it. The Titans aren't kaiju in a traditional sense. They're old ones reinterpreted through ecology. And Monarch? They're the cultists who don't realize they're in a cult. At this point, this is where everything clicks. The MonsterVerse is built for survival when a Titan event hits, investigation when anomalies whisper, exploration when the layers open. Remember, the Motu aren't boss fights. They're freaks of nature, raw and untamed. The humans are the story. And because the cosmology is intentionally vague, you can run it in almost any system. The real threat isn't the Titans. It's what humans think the Titans mean. So, what did Apple TV Plus actually build? A flower bud, again, for lack of a better term, universe. A fractured butterfly organization that is always present, either in the shadows or out in the open. Ancient forces that don't care about us. And a cosmology that feels like someone whispered, Cthulhu, in the writer's room, and everyone politely pretended not to hear it. It's messy, it's mysterious, and it's perfect for storytelling, on screen or at the table. I don't know about you, but I am excited to see what happens in Season 2.